Hi, everyone. So, according to my birth certificate, my name is Brandon. They say that I have children, according to the family court of Jefferson County in Birmingham, Alabama. So, for the young people, I would not want to neglect or be abusive with what I know or what I think, because I'm not the smartest person, but for the young people, one of the boys, I call him Kent, and the other boy would be like, your name Kent, your name Kent. That's what his brother would tell him, They say his brother would call him Kent, and I would call him Kent, 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 and sometimes when a person named Kent, some people will call him Ken for short. And growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, in the Ensley neighborhood area, or in Birmingham, Jefferson County, it's not about if it's just my child or if it's your child. For all of the people, all of the Kens out there, all of the Kents out there, the people that they call Ken or the people that they call Kent, I was abused. And it was sexual and mental abuse. So for all the Kens out there, no matter where you are, whether you're in another country, whether you're in another state, or whether you're in that city or in that state where I was at in Birmingham, Jefferson County, Alabama, whether it's not your name or whether you're one of those Ken types or those Kent types. Sometimes I would even call them Ken too. Like I'm kin to you. Ken too, Kent, Ken, all of those Ken types. Especially in the Birmingham, Jefferson County, Alabama areas and neighborhoods, because I was abused there. So since I wouldn't want people to be hurt and abused, if your name is Kent or Ken, or you're one of those types, and if you're not as old as me, you need to understand this about sex. And what I'm going to tell you about this. If you're the type of guy like I am, and you was considered a nerd growing up, and you never really had a girlfriend that you were sexually active with, you shouldn't rush into bed or into sex with somebody. Because when I was in Birmingham, Jefferson County, Alabama, sometimes if a girl wants to have sex with you, a person wants to have sex with you too soon, and is too willing and too ready to do it with you, it may be possible that she's already pregnant and taking advantage of you because she thinks you're a nerd. So since one of the children that I had, was told was my child, was called Ken in Birmingham, Jefferson County, Alabama, Ken, if a girl thinks that you're a nerd and you never had a girlfriend before, and all of a sudden she wants to have sex with you, and if she already knows how to kiss and she already knows how to have sex, and if you notice, she's the one that's on top most of the time, if it went that far, if she wants to marry you and get a marriage license, and if she says that she had a baby with you, if you've seen any of my videos, you need to make sure that you know what's going on in those situations. For all of my kin out there, for all of my nerds out there, if you know that you never had a girlfriend before and you was never the type of guy that would get those kind of girls, and then all of a sudden a girl wants to marry you, and all of a sudden she's pregnant and it's your baby, and she wants the paperwork. If she's not the type that's a nerd, if she's not the type that, you know, is soft and feminine, if she's all aggressive and always want to fight, you know, if she's the type of girl that wanted to be an army sister soldier, you know, or wanted to be like the type of girl that have guns and weapons and stuff like that, kind of like a thug or something like that, and you are a nerd, you don't want to be abused the way that I was abused. You don't want people 18 years, you notice that your child looks like someone else, and someone tried to kill you in a Black Lives Matter scam for insurance money, and realized that a girl never wanted to marry you in the first place, at least not the particular girl that set the situation up. So since all I know is that I was in Birmingham, Alabama, in Jefferson County, and I was a nerd, and I didn't have a girlfriend that I was sexually active with, they said it was a system. When a girl is already pregnant and she picked the weakest one she can find, a quiet nerd that never had sex with a girl before and never had a girlfriend and wants to marry you all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about her trapping you with a baby if you never ever get her pregnant in the first place. You don't have to worry about her setting you up in those certain color widow scams. Ken, do you hear me, Ken? The young people? Ken, my family, my Ken. If you're Ken and you ever been in Birmingham, Alabama, Jefferson County, somebody's trying to tell you some valuable information right now, Ken. If you've ever been called a nerd and somebody wanted to trap you in a marriage license, trap you with a baby, and you've ever been called Ken or Kent, and that's your baby, are you going to be the next one in a wheelchair or in a Black Lives Matter scam 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road? Is she going to tell you that she never liked you anyway and it was never your baby? And she was just using you to get money? And since you looked like a nerd and she know that you ain't never had a girlfriend before, when the guy that she really didn't want her and got her pregnant and didn't want her, she know that you would be so glad to just have sex with anybody that she could just tell you it was your baby, and you would be so desperate to have a girlfriend that you would be trapped in a marriage and trapped with a baby while she just counting the days down to when she can leave you, possibly even have you murdered, claiming that she your wife or your girlfriend, and then claiming that she the beneficiary to some insurance money in a life insurance, death insurance policy scam. Because when they told me I had children and he had a brother, he said, your name Kent. And you know, people that they call Kent, some people call him Ken for short. So when a person is not in a gang, and when a person is not a thug, and when a person don't carry guns and weapons and knife, and people call you a nerd, and they call you Kent, or they call you Ken, sometimes girls have hyenas and people that they call pimps that been and targeted you, and they tell them to trap you in a marriage. When they already pregnant, they'll offer you sex, a whole lot of sex, and that's how they trick you. They'll have a whole lot of sex with you over and over and over again, and you'll think that that means love. You'll be a good guy, and you'll want to be a dad. You'll want to be the right kind of guy. You'll want to be the right kind of way. They can ruin your life. They can have you saying that you would fight for your child and kill for your child and murder for your child, and you can end up in prison for a baby that wasn't even yours. And she can divorce you while you in jail and leave with some other guy. You know, those Black Lives Matter scams, Sandra Bland, they can say that you committed suicide or you died in jail or somebody, you know, you got in a fight in jail or something, and she collect the life insurance money. Be careful about why a person wants to marry you, especially if you a nerd and you was never getting that kind of attention before. Because some girls say that 18 years is a small price to pay in a short amount of time if they was going to get $100,000 life insurance check after you gone. So since they said I have children, and one of the children, you know, would be called Ken in Jefferson County, Birmingham, Alabama, for all of those Ken types out there, the nerds and the people, you know, whether they call you Kent or Ken. If a girl acting like she wanted to marry you all of a sudden, she noticed you got videos, she noticed that you getting paid, she noticed that you got something going for yourself. But all of the other people that you ever seen her around was thugs and drug dealers and bad people. Is she with you because she actually love you or want to be with you? Or was she already pregnant by one of them thugs and one of them drug dealers that was just using her? And 18 years later, you were supposed to be dead and they collect the insurance check and on to the next one. Because I care about the children and I care about marriage. So, you know, I was abused. Somebody pretended to be April Williams and used the name April Williams and used my marriage license, and somebody tried to have me killed in a Black Lives Matter scam at a church on a Sunday on a November 29th. I don't believe my wife is the one that did it. It was identity theft. They say they even used children that claim to be my children, because the same way a person does identity theft and pretends to be someone they're not, it's the same way people pretend to be children that they're not. So, you know, since I was in Birmingham, Jefferson County, Alabama, and I actually care about people no matter where you're from or what your gender is or what your sexuality is or who or what you are, whether you're a girl or a guy, be careful about that. Because one time they said it was a dude running for president. I think it was Mitt Romney, and some dude was running for president with them, and he did that same stuff to his wife. He wanted his own wife to die so that he can marry a younger person. You know, that dude that was wanted to be the vice president when Mitt Romney was running for president. So be careful about why people want to marry you. Because some of the people could just be marrying you to get a life insurance check and never wanted to be with you in the first place. Because I didn't been abused and I still haven't figured out what's been going on yet. But I don't blame my wife and I don't blame my children, because my children wouldn't want anything